Summing up the results of the 284th day of the war in Ukraine. The situation at the front. According to the General Staff, over the past 24 hours, attacks have been repelled in the area of settlements, Site and Belogorivka in Luhansk region, Berestovoye, Belogorovka, Yakovlevka, Soledar, Bakhmutskoe, Bakhmut, experienced, Kleshcheevka, Andreevka, Kurdyumovka, Vodyanoye, Pervomayskoye, Vesele, Maryinka and Novomikhailovka of the Donetsk region. That is, in the Ukrainian army they say that the battles in Kurdyumovka and Andreevka, which the Russians talked about capturing, are still going on. However, the fighting near Bakhmut is extremely intense. Especially near Experienced, which is storming the Wagner PMC, Russian telegram channels call the village the key to Bakhmut. From Experienced, which is now controlled by the armed forces of Ukraine, the Ukrainian military publishes a video. The Russians are now trying to encircle Bakhmut after failing to take him head-on, Sergei Chrevaty, spokesman for the Vostok Operational Command, said. He says the situation is under control, although difficult. Over the past 24 hours, a serious hello was sent from our artillery, including the latest high-precision systems, in order to somewhat cool their ardor towards the encirclement of our units, Chrevaty said. He drew attention to the fact that the enemy was changing tactics, trying to operate in small groups. First of all, this concerns the Wagnerites. In this way they seek to penetrate into the Ukrainian trenches. The drama of the battles near Bakhmut is also evidenced by the case of Georgian fighters who are fighting on the side of Ukraine. A group of Georgian fighters fighting on the side of Ukraine was surrounded near Bakhmut. Several people were injured, including the commander, Romeo Paralava, a volunteer, said in an interview with the Mtavari TV channel. We will definitely pull them out. The situation in Bakhmut is very difficult. The commander was wounded. The rest of the guys, along with our Ukrainian brothers, are surrounded. There is a struggle to bring out the survivors and take out the bodies of our dead, Paralava said. Over the past 3 days, it has become known about the death of 6 Georgians near Bakhmut, Avto Rurua, Romeo Pichkaya, Romeo Kveretskilia, Badra Markelia, Merab Aladashvili, Jaba Kopiria. In total, according to the Georgian media, up to 1,500 Georgian fighters are now fighting on the side of Ukraine, who lived in Ukraine or who came there after the start of the war as volunteers. On the maps of the Institute, in the zone of Ukrainian control, the village of Chervonopopovka is indicated on the P66 highway between Kremenaya and Svetovo. Earlier, Russian military bloggers stated that the armed forces of Ukraine reached the approaches to the settlement, but were driven back by the Russian counterattack. This counterattack was announced yesterday by the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, which, in turn, reported that it had been repelled. The Russians also claim that all attacks in the direction of Kremenaya, where the armed forces of Ukraine have been advancing in recent days, have been repulsed. Ukraine does not confirm this. But it is already clear that with a decrease in temperature, the fighting really became more intense. But U.S. intelligence believes that even in the conditions of winter and freezing of the soil, hostilities in Ukraine will not accelerate until spring, but will slow down. The decrease in the pace of hostilities in Ukraine will continue in the next few months, said the head of national intelligence Avril Haines, writes Reuters. Donetsk has been shelled all day today. In the morning, arrivals were noted in the Kiev and Kuibishevsky districts of the city. As a result of a direct hit by a shell, a house caught fire near the Mayak shopping center. The private sector in the village of Gornyak, western outskirts of the city, also suffered. They were also beaten in the nearby village of Azotny. There is information about a teenager who was injured in a supermarket located there. On the territory controlled by Ukraine, the area of Zaporizhzhia again came under attack, where several buildings were destroyed. Is Russia ready to continue the war? Putin, although disappointed by the failure of his army during the special operation, has not changed his goal of controlling Ukraine. This opinion was expressed by U.S. intelligence chief Avril Haines. The Kremlin's determination to continue the war may also be based on the fact that the majority of Russians still support military action in Ukraine. This is evidenced by the results of the November survey of the Levada Center. 42% unequivocally support, 32% rather support the participation of the Russian armed forces in the special operation, that is, in general, 74%.